The court will come to order. Judge Noble McIntyre presiding. Today we have the topic of Lake Day versus Beach Day, and we have Sydney Barker from California arguing on behalf of Lake Day, and Bela Emerling, also from California, arguing on behalf of Beach Day. Let's start with Sydney.
Well, Your Honor, I feel that lakes are better than oceans because they are safer, they serve for better outdoor activities, and they are more accessible to the public.
I present myself in front of you today on behalf of all the beachgoers and for the coastal environments for which they cherish. I will not do so by only stating my personal opinion, but I will also do so by presenting socio-economic data, as well as sound reasoning and public interest considerations.
Ladies, thank you for your opening statements. If you both would please approach the lecterns.
Socioeconomics.
Are you too young to understand what that means?
Ms. Barker, let's start with you.
The first topic that I had for my opening statement was that it was safer because of the calmer waters. So the lake doesn't have a current, and when there is a storm, it remains stable because there is no current, therefore having safer waters, especially for young children.
Actually, out of the 10 deadliest bodies of water in the US, 3 out of 10 consisted of lakes, and only 1 was a beach.
I feel that because the ocean is so scary, there will be more people that will visit the lake, therefore giving better chances and a higher population of people to drown in the lake than people to drown in the ocean.
Now, when you say scary, is that a speculation?
Well, I'm glad that you asked, Bella, because there is 90+% of the ocean that has yet to be discovered. But all lakes have been discovered through and through. So in the ocean, there's tons of things that man has no idea about.
Ms. Emerling, let me ask you this. Obviously, people drown in both the ocean and the lake, correct?
Correct.
Nobody's ever been killed by a shark in the lake, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so how do you counter that argument?
Well, there also are creatures that can cause death in the lake as well. I guess you could do the stereotypical piranha that are susceptible to going for blood, just as sharks. But if you look at the mortality rates, technically there are more in lakes than oceans. Do you claim that the predictability of the lake is due to people enjoying it more, having more of a serene time at the lake?
I think there's a lot less worry on a lake day rather than a beach day. So to answer your question, yes.
Actually, you may not think about this, but there are studies that show the rhythmic sound of ocean waves is a key factor to relaxation and can trigger a meditative state to those that attend the beach. So this can actually help the mental state of those that visit the beach.
Ms. Barker, have you been to the ocean?
I have.
Has the rhythmic state helped you relax more?
No, sir.
I visited the lake a lot more than I did the ocean growing up due to the proximity as to where I lived. So I have experienced both the lake and the ocean, and I can conclude that I prefer a beach day at the lake, at the ocean, rather than a beach day at the lake.
I'm so glad that you say that because that's actually one of my main points is accessibility to the lake. So given that a lot more people live closer to the lake as they are surrounded by land, not as many people live on the coast, and they're actually more accessible for people just like you.
So if we're talking about supporting people, $225 billion is due to ocean and coastal towns and beaches surrounding the ocean, in comparison to a $36.8 billion to lakes.
I think that there is a higher population around coastal towns. So
exactly,
yes, to make your
I'm
point,
so glad
agreed.
you made that point because I'm going to bring back these economic factors up, including job market strength. You know, the ocean-based tourism sector employs more Americans than building construction and telecommunications combined.
A lot of lakes actually serve as dams, which gives a huge economic purpose. So
That is so true. Have you considered the environmental impact that imposes, though?
no.
Thank you.
My enjoyment at the lake is being able to get out on the water in a boat and then pull up to individual beaches. Would you agree that most people that go to the ocean, they just go for the beach part? They're not actually on a boat very often.
Boat use is much more prevalent in lakes, and I think that can lead to satisfaction for an individual. I also think that is a preference made, though. Boats are also just as enjoyable on the ocean. Now, given that the ocean's stability is unpredictable, it could be tough at times given currents and things like that, but you can still use a boat on the ocean and do activities that you would do on a lake.
All right, it's time for closing statements. Please return to your table and we will have closing argument. Ms. Emerling, we're going to start with you.
Throughout this argument today, I demonstrated that beaches provide greater variety, safety, and broader benefits for both individuals who visit them and the surrounding ecosystems and local economies they rely on. You know, Your Honor, it is my intention today to prove with clarity and also substantial facts to back it up that Beach Day stands superior to the lake.
Given that there is just so much about the ocean that we have yet to discover and that we do not know about, it gives me an eerie feeling to know that it is not completely safe. And given all the points that I have made to you today, being more predictable, safer, and serving for better purposes in the environment, I feel that lakes are better than oceans.
The court takes this matter seriously. As I've said, I have a lake house and go to the lake frequently, but I've also gone to the ocean frequently. It's a close call. This is really a close call because the court enjoys both. I think that Ms. Barker did a great job, but I think Ms. Emerling did a better job, and the court rules on behalf of Beach Day.
Good job, counsel.
You know, I feel like today in the courtroom, it wasn't fair. I mean, Bella said something about socioeconomics, and I don't know. I mean, the judge seemed to love what she was saying, but I think I had a lot of great points today.
You know, I do believe that Judge McIntyre was correct in his ruling. I do have a couple years of experience on Counsel Barker. So it was a great debate, a great argument, but at the end of the day, my socioeconomic facts stood strong and were able to win.